Man, you ever go down one of those rabbit holes at 3 in the morning and end up questioning everything you thought you knew about the world? That's what happens when you start diving into conspiracy theories. Some of them are ridiculous, some of them make total sense, and some sit right in that uncomfortable gray area where you're like maybe they're onto something. Over the years, I've heard so many insane stories that blew my mind, and the crazy part is, every single one of them has people who will die on that hill defending it. So let's take a trip down the path of the wildest theories that make you think twice about reality itself. The first one that always gets me is the moon landing. We all grew up believing Neil Armstrong took that one small step for mankind, right? But then you watch those old videos and people start pointing out shadows that don't match up, flags waving in a place with no wind, and reflections that look suspiciously like studio lights. Some even say Stanley Kubrick filmed the whole thing. The logic goes that NASA couldn't afford to fail during the Cold War, so they faked it to beat the Soviets. You look at it and think maybe it's nuts. But then again, we've caught governments lying about so many things before, so who knows? Then there's Area 51, the legendary desert base where everyone swears the government hides alien technology. People have seen strange lights, flying discs, and aircraft decades ahead of their time. Bob Lazar, this guy who claims he worked there, said he saw actual alien crafts being reverse engineered. He described propulsion systems using gravity wave stuff no one had even theorized properly back then, and the man still sticks to his story decades later. The thing about Area 51 is the government denied its existence for years until they finally admitted it's real. That alone makes people go, what else are they not telling us? And speaking of aliens, there's the whole Roswell crash in 1947. Official story says it was a weather balloon. But locals said they saw metallic debris, strange bodies, and were threatened into silence. The military cleaned it up overnight. Fast forward a few decades and documents start surfacing suggesting there might have been something more. What blows my mind is how this one event basically started modern UFO culture. Like it shaped how we imagine extraterrestrials even today. Now, here's one that freaks me out every time: the theory that world leaders are actually shape-shifting lizard people. I know it sounds insane, but it's got millions of believers. The idea is that an ancient reptilian race secretly controls human civilization through politics, banking, and media. People point to weird blinking moments on video or glitches during live broadcasts where eyes look reptilian. It's absurd and hilarious, but also creepy because it plays into a deeper fear that maybe the people in power aren't even human in the first place. Then you've got the theory that the Earth isn't a globe, but flat, thaw. T1 exploded online. It sounds ridiculous at first, but when you listen to flat earthers, they have a whole system of arguments about horizon lines, water curvature, and government cover-ups. They think NASA fakes space photos and that Antarctica is actually an icy wall surrounding the planet. It's wild because it shows how deeply people distrust authority now. We've reached a point where even basic science is questioned because people feel manipulated. Another one that always gets attention is about the Illuminati idea of a secret elite that runs the world. Politicians, celebrities, billionaires, all part of a hidden order controlling wars, economics, and culture. Look at the symbolism people claim to see everywhere: triangles, all-seeing eyes, hidden hand signs. You can't unsee it once you start looking. Whether it's real or just the product of pattern-seeking human minds, it taps into something primal, the sense that the world's strings are being pulled by unseen hands. And then there's the theory about JFK's assassination. Officially, it was one lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald. But so many pieces don't add up: the bullet trajectories, the missing documents, witnesses dying mysteriously. People say it was the CIA or the mob or even a coup from within the government. Every time you dig deeper, you hit new layers of confusion. It's like a puzzle that's designed to never be solved. Another wild one: chemtrails. You've seen those white streaks planes leave in the sky. For most of us, it's just condensation. But a whole movement believes those trails are chemical agents sprayed for weather control, population manipulation, or biological experiments. Governments dismiss it, but then you learn about real programs like Operation Popeye, where they literally seeded clouds to make rain during the Vietnam War. That makes it hard to totally laugh off. Then you've got the Denver airport theory. Ever looked at that place? It's got bizarre murals showing war, death, and rebirth. There's a giant demonic horse statue with glowing red eyes, and people say there are tunnels underneath connecting to underground bunkers for global elites. The layout even forms strange symbols when seen from above, whether intentional or not. The design fuels the idea that there's something hidden beneath the surface. Another mind-bender is the Mandela effect. It's the theory that alternate realities are bleeding into ours. People swear things they remember collectively just don't exist. No, like Berenstain Bears used to be spelled Berenstein, or that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s, not the 2010s. It's not just bad memory, it's like millions of people remembering the same false detail. Some say it's proof of simulated realities or timeline glitches. It's fascinating because it hits that weird spot between psychology and quantum theory. Speaking of simulations, there's the idea that we're literally living in one. Think about it, our technology's advancing so fast, we're already making hyper-realistic virtual LDS. If that's possible now, imagine what an advanced civilization could do. Maybe they already built one and were inside it. Elon Musk said the odds were not in a simulation are 1 in billions. That thought alone will mess with your brain. It makes you question what's real, what consciousness even means, and what might be running the code. Then there's HAARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Officially, it's for studying the ionosphere, but conspiracy theorists say it's a weather weapon capable of triggering earthquakes, hurricanes, even mind control through electromagnetic waves. Every time a massive storm happens, people point to HAARP. The truth is, we have no idea what kind of experiments are done there. So while it sounds far-fetched, the unknown part makes it suspicious. Another heavy one is 911. That day changed the world forever. The official story says it was a terrorist attack, but a lot of engineers, pilots, and witnesses have questioned how the towers fell. Some claim it looked like a controlled demolition. Others talk about the missing plane debris at the Pentagon or the collapse of Building 7. Whether or not you buy the theories, it shows how deeply people have lost faith in official narratives when so much secrecy surrounds global events. And then there's Bigfoot. The idea that a giant ape-like creature roams forests around the world. Thousands of sightings, footprints, blurry photos, but never a body. Scientists dismiss it, but new species are discovered every year. What if Bigfoot is just extremely good at avoiding humans? Or what if it's not an animal at all, but something interdimensional like those skinwalker legends from Native American folklore? It's one of those mysteries that just refuses to die. Let's not forget the theory that pharmaceutical companies deliberately keep cures hidden. Imagine if there's already a cure for cancer or other deadly diseases, but releasing it would destroy billion-dollar industries. There have been real whistleblowers saying promising natural treatments got buried. It's hard to prove, but when you see how much money's tied to sickness rather than health, it makes you wonder if profit's more important than saving lives. One that creeps people out is the belief that celebrities fake their deaths. Tupac, Elvis, Michael Jackson, some say they're all alive, living under new identities. There are videos claiming to show Tupac in Cuba decades after his death. The theory goes that fame became a prison, so they staged an escape. It's nuts. But when you realize how controlled the entertainment world is, it doesn't sound totally impossible. And then you've got the theory that CERN, the massive particle collider in Switzerland, is doing more than smashing atoms. Some believe it's opening portals to other dimensions. When the collider first fired up, people feared it could create black holes or shift timelines. There's even footage of strange rituals near the facility that fed the paranoia. The science behind CERN is real, but the idea that we're poking holes in the fabric of reality, that's the stuff of nightmares. Another classic Paul McCartney is dead. They say the real Paul died in the 60s and was replaced by a look-alike to keep the Beatles going. Fans have spent decades decoding album covers, lyrics, and clues supposedly hidden by the band. It's obviously far-fetched, but the fact that so many people still debate it shows how powerful myth can be. And finally, one that's both chilling and fascinating, the theory that world governments have secret space fleets and colonies on Mars. Whistleblowers claim there's already a breakaway civilization operating beyond Earth. They talk about advanced propulsion, time manipulation, and off-world mining. It sounds like sci-fi, but then you hear about unacknowledged black budget programs worth trillions of dollars, and you start thinking maybe some of that money went somewhere we can't even imagine. The thing about all these theories is that they reveal something deep about human nature. We don't like not knowing. Our brains are wired to look for patterns, for meaning in chaos. And when the world gets too complicated, it's easier to believe there's a grand plan behind everything, even if that plan is dark, whether it's lizard people, aliens, or secret elites. What people are really searching for is a sense of control, a reason behind the madness. But here's what's really wild: sometimes conspiracies turn out to be true. The government actually did run mind control experiments under MKUltra. They did fake operations to justify wars, like Operation Northwoods, that proposed staging fake attacks on Americans to start conflict with Cuba. For years, those were dismissed as crazy theories until declassified documents proved them real. That's the dangerous beauty of it all. Once you learn that even a few are true, you start questioning everything else. At the end of the day, maybe the truth is stranger than all the theories combined. Maybe it's a mix, some real, some imagined, all stitched together by curiosity. Because humans have always been storytellers, trying to make sense of the unknown. When we stare into the void of mystery, our minds start filling in the blanks with whatever makes sense to us. And in that space between truth and imagination, conspiracy theories are born. What fascinates me most is that every single one of these stories says something about our world. The moon landing theory is about mistrust in government. The reptilian thing is about fear of dehumanized power. Flat Earth is about rejecting science when it feels distant. The Illuminati theory is about invisible hierarchies. Even Bigfoot is about our lost connection with nature. Each one's a mirror reflecting our collective anxiety. When you think about it, conspiracies are like modern mythology. The gods and monsters of the old world have been replaced by aliens, secret agencies, and shadow governments. It's the same instinct trying to explain forces bigger than us. And maybe that's why people are drawn to them. They make the chaos feel structured, like someone somewhere knows what's going on. I think the key is to stay curious but grounded. It's okay to ask questions, to explore weird ideas. That's how progress happens. But it's also important not to let that curiosity turn into paranoia. Because once you start thinking everything's a lie, you lose your grip on what's real. The truth usually sits somewhere between the extremes. At the end of the day, the universe is already mysterious enough without adding reptilian overlords and fake moons. But man, those stories sure make life interesting. Because deep down, we all want to believe there's more going on than what meets the eye. We want the world to be full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. And who knows, maybe some of those secrets are real. Maybe one day one of these crazy theories will turn out to be the biggest truth of all. Until then, keep an open mind, keep questioning, and don't be afraid to explore the weird corners of reality, because the moment you stop being curious, that's when they've really got you.